Welcome everybody to Personal FX, the place to see some of the most wonderful assortment of collectibles.
Boy, you talk about wonderful assortment of collectibles. On today's show, we're going to talk about something that has been, well, they've sold 5 million of these babies right here since 1911. These are Kewpie Dolls, and we're going to tell you why they've been so popular a little bit later on in the show. And Ayo Haynes is on the road for us this week. She is out in Lincoln, Nebraska. That is a shot of the state capitol building, very close to our super collector's home.
And in fact, our super collector day absolutely adores Campbell's Soup Kids. We're going to be finding out why and seeing her collection. A whole lot happening on today's Personal FX.
Hey, welcome to today's Personal FX, the Collectibles Show. Glad you have joined us. Here they are. Say hello, wonderful people. These are all the brave people who have come by to have their items appraised.
Hi.
This is Lisa. Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Hi.
Where are you from?
I'm originally from Houston, but I live in Brooklyn right now.
Now, this is great. You ought to see what she's going to have appraised. Tell us about this right here.
I had seen this in an antique store, and I wanted to buy it, and my fiance is like, no, don't spend the money. And he went back 6 months later and got it for me.
Is that your fiance in the frame right there? Is that him?
No!
We'll see what that's worth a little bit later on. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
All right, if you'd like to be a guest at our FX apartment, have something appraised, real simple, give us a call at that 1-800-FX-FX, one number, and we'll set it up. All right, let's go out to Lincoln, Nebraska, where Ayo Haynes is visiting with today's super collector. Hi there, Ayo.
Hi, John. How are you?
Good.
Good. You know, Campbell's soup has been a staple in the American diet for over 100 years. And one of the most memorable images is that of those adorable kids, the Campbell kids. And our super collector, Darlene Campbell, loves them so much that she has collected them for 15 years and has over 1,000 items. Darlene, thank you for having us.
Thanks for coming today.
Now, did you start collecting Campbell's soup because of your last name?
Basically, I started collecting Borden's and cream of wheat because it reminded me of back home where I grew up in West Virginia. And I kept finding it harder and harder to find unique pieces, so the antique dealer one day that I happened to stop into her store said, well, your last name's Campbell, why don't you just do Campbell soup?
Great idea.
That's how I got started.
So how did you switch to the Campbell kids?
Every time I found something that had advertising on it, the kids were there.
Right.
And the kids were so cute and lovable and familiar and homey that I said, hey, this is what I want. I want the artist.
Right.
So from that point on, I started collecting Grace Drayton.
Okay. So when we come back, we're going to see more of Darlene's collection and also find out who Grace Drayton really is.
Ayo, did you say Campbell soup has been around for 100 years? Is that right?
100 years.
Still tastes good after all this time. Must be those cans.
Especially tomato soup.
Yeah, there you go. We'll check in with you later. Thanks, Ayo.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's get into some appraisals. Claire, you have Darlene and the gang over
We
there.
have two Darlenes on today's show, the super collector and our first guest. Welcome to Personal FX.
Thank you, Claire.
Where are you from?
I'm from Evansdale, Iowa.
Oh, how nice. The show's going to be in Iowa in a few weeks. What brings you to New York?
My granddaughter is singing with a group from her local high school at Carnegie Hall tonight called the Scatters.
How exciting.
Oh, it is.
Well, we wish her good luck.
Thank you.
Please tell us about this interesting item you brought to be appraised as I introduce you to Pat Dudley and John Bruno,
Okay.
two of our ace appraisers.
This horn was purchased about 7 years ago at a local antique store. I know nothing about it. I just thought it was interesting.
Have you seen something like this before?
Yeah, it's a powder horn for use with black powder, and it's carved. The end piece, which is wooden and held generally with wooden pegs or tiny metal brads, is missing. And on one side you have several figures, somewhat folk figures, and another you have hunter with some deer. And then you have a carved name, which neither of which John or I can
it's definitely Greek
decipher.
to us. It really is.
So it's referred to as a powder horn.
Yes, for holding black powder. Hunters would use it to load muzzle-loading guns.
However, I think it's more of a decorative version. It's not a true powder horn. This is very, very thin. You can see it does have some cracks and some damage.
Is this an old one?
I'm not so sure it's all that old. I think it's probably under 100 years, maybe under 50.
I
what
would
about
tend
the
to think
price?
under 50.
Yeah.
With this age and this condition with the end missing, I would probably value it somewhere in the $75 range.
50 is where I would go with it. They're fairly easy to find. You do see an awful lot of them.
Is that about what you paid?
Around, a little less than that. Of course, it was 7 years ago.
Well, you know how the show works. You're welcome to put it up for sale if you'd like.
Entertain me.
Okay, we shall. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's a great evening tonight at Carnegie Hall.
Thank you.
Our number to call is 212-802-0082 for any items that are up for sale throughout the show. And Denise joins us next.
Hi.
Hi, Denise.
Hi.
You brought a fun item with you?
Yes, I did. I brought a Wayne Gretzky doll from when he played for the Edmonton Oilers.
Excellent. Where'd you get it?
It's my boyfriend's, actually. He got it back in, I think, '83.
Well, how nice that you're getting an appraisal for him.
Yeah.
This is interesting. It's the second time we've seen something along these lines with Gretzky, the French version of his figure. And these things become highly, highly prized by collectors, especially when they're in the original box like this, has all the accolades necessary, lets you know exactly who it is. This one's a little damaged. It has been taped and put back together.
The French version worth more or less than an American version?
I would think about the same, actually. It simply says the great one, which is what Gretzky's called, and probably assumed by most people to be the greatest hockey player there has been. Go ahead.
It's the one that they seem to be looking for is the French version. It's running between $500 and $700 in absolute mint condition. This one is going to be substantially less because the box is damaged. And as long as the figurine is in good condition, that will help. But
He's missing a couple of things.
Oh, okay.
What's he missing?
Oh, he's missing the hockey stick and a glove.
Yeah, I was about to go.
Snags.
We don't see that anymore. Probably bring us down to the 200, 250 range.
Yeah, I would agree with John.
Well, somebody out there may have the hockey stick. You know, they just want the doll if it's going up for sale.
Yes, it is.
Thank you so much for visiting. And Leanne is our next guest. Hi, Leanne. Good to have you with us.
Thank you.
Very pretty what you brought. Where did you get this candlestick?
We bought it at a tag sale.
Was it one of those reasonable prices?
Oh, I think so. I think so.
Very pretty, almost Rococo in style.
Yeah.
And it's enameled on brass, and it's a champ-lavé type of enamel, which means a raised ground, in which the metal, or the plaque as it's called, is hollowed out and then filled in with the enameling, as opposed to like a cloisonné, which is...
How old a piece is this?
Well, this is interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to do this real fast. We had taken a quick look at this earlier. There is some pedigree to it, and it is dated quite nicely. It's a well-made piece. It's a very well-made piece. The fact that it is removable like this.
It's quite heavy.
It's from the home of a gentleman by the name of Adolf Sprickler, who had something to do with sugar. He was a sugar baron or a sugar king, they're calling him.
Maybe imported sugar or something like that.
Yeah, probably an importer, 1907. So and that's about right for the style and for the weight of the piece itself.
And there's a piece of onyx in here as well, which would help us date that. You find
So
a lot of...
interesting. Take it apart and you can learn information
Well, it's
inside.
like finding that second version of the inside that picture. Declaration of Independence. Yeah, take things apart. You never know what you're going to find.
And what would you find as far as the price goes?
This really is quite nice and very, very decorative, and blue is one of the most appealing colors in terms of an enamel. I would place the value somewhere around 150, 175, I think.
Yeah, I was going to be a tad more conservative, 100 to 100 and a quarter, but anywhere in that spread.
To 175. You did okay?
Yeah.
Would you like to put it up for sale?
Yeah, I sure would.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll put it back together during the commercial break. Thank you. And it's your daughter who's performing tonight.
Yes,
John,
yes.
her daughter, Leanne's daughter, is performing at Carnegie Hall tonight, which got to be very exciting for the entire family.
We got to go. We got to go check that out. Yeah. Stuart Holbrook is here, who is the president of Theriault Stahl Auction House. Stuart, thanks for stopping in.
Hey, always a pleasure.
To see you,
Great
sir.
to see you.
Now let's talk about the history of the Kewpie Dolls. As a matter of fact, we have something that pertains to that right here, and interestingly enough, it's an illustration.
It's an illustration. Well, I always say if I could go back in time to meet one doll person, it would be Rose O'Neal. And to understand the Kewpie, you have to understand Rose O'Neal. Renaissance woman, she was a poet, a sculptress, an illustrator, an artist, and she came up with the concept of the Kewpie and made them into illustrations for Ladies' Home Journal. They originally came to her, she said, in a dream. These tiny elfins with teardrop heads came down and touched her everywhere. And after that, she said, my goodness, wow, I'm going to make these into illustrations. I'm going to make them into dolls. They became one of the most popular figures in history.
Is that right? Follow your dreams.
Follow your dreams, absolutely.
We'll learn more about this later on. Thank you, sir, for stopping in.
My
It's
pleasure.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
All right, let's get a preview of the very next item to be appraised on today's show out in Nebraska, and it belongs to Rhonda. Hi, Rhonda, what do you have?
Hi, I'm here today to have my Statue of Liberty appraised next on Personal FX.
Patty LaPone, Kelly Martin, and Chad Lowe through the extraordinary stories of a typical family. Life goes on. Weekdays at 2, 1 Central, one place, FX.
Yeah?
Daddy, I want to have breakfast with you.
Sorry, big guy, no time this morning.
Look in your case.
Kellogg's Nutri-Grain bars.
I got one too.
A soft crust with real fruit in the filling and low in fat.
Do you love it?
I do.
We're having breakfast, Daddy.
Kellogg's Nutri-Grain bars. Start your morning off right. And introducing new mixed berry Kellogg's Nutri-Grain bars. 3 berry flavors, 1 luscious real fruit taste. The news is out. Mixed berry season has just begun.
I'm a big kid, look what I can do. I get dressed like a big kid too.
Training can be easier than you think with Pull-Ups training pants. They make kids want to train, as no diaper can. There's just as much protection as a diaper, but the big kid designs look like real underwear. Your child feels like a big kid in Pull-Ups, and that's the best motivation there is.
Mommy, wow! I'm a big kid now.
Sure, I want to kill bacteria, but for my money, I want more. Check out New Joy Antibacterial. It kills germs on hands and cuts tough grease using 50% less than this stuff. Joy Antibacterial. Gives me more for less.
It's a feeling of freshness you won't find anywhere else. And now it has a bright new look. Found now in fresh new packages with a clean, fresh scent that lasts up to 5 days. For your clothes and your linen. Found. Discover the new look of freshness.
Boom, 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 boom. Ain't nothing cooler than the blues. Shoot you right down. It's living the blues. Complete. Definitive. It's the kind of collection only Time Life could put together.
It could be a spoonful of coffee. Could be a spoonful of tea.
Start with Blues Legends and get 20 absolutely essential blues classics for just $9.99 on cassette or compact disc.
Further on up the road, someone's gonna hurt you like you hurt me.
Then audition other albums. Keep only the ones you want. Satisfaction guaranteed. The blues are hotter than ever. So call now.
To order Living Blues, call 1-800-443-6900 or send $9.99 for 1 cassette or 1 CD plus $3.50 shipping to Living the Blues, Department 1, Richmond, Virginia.
Welcome back, everybody, to Personal FX, the Collectibles Show. For those of you who are planning to vacation on Cape Cod on June 11th, in addition to swimming and boating, John, there's something else that they could do.
Sure is.
They can attend their very first appraise-a-thon. So what is an appraise-a-thon? It's when a lot of you get together to have items appraised. We're going to be holding our appraise-a-thon June 11th. So if you live there, you're on vacation, why not give us a call at 1-800-FX-FX-FX1. And it turns into a real social experience as well.
It sure does. A lot of people get together. It's a lot of fun. All right, let's go out to Nebraska where Rhonda has joined us. Hi, Rhonda. How are you?
Just fine.
Great. Tell us more about what you got there. Sure is interesting.
Yes, I have a 37-inch tall, reduction size Statue of Liberty, bronze over zinc, that has markings on the side, registered in Washington, 31 August 1876, Mark Bartholdi, patent number 9939G. Below that is 1875. On the back of the base is marked Ayo Iron at Sea, Paris.
It's a French castle.
Is that heavy?
That's what it is, what I think.
You can lift it, but it's substantial weight.
Yeah. What do you two think of that?
Oh, I think she said exactly what it is. It's a reduction casting. When we first saw this going into the break, this looks like an early cast model to make the real thing. And a number of them were made over the years until until they finally made the final parts to put the real Statue of Liberty together.
Well, it's true, because it was a gift to the United States to celebrate our centennial from France. I'm thinking, though, that the original probably would have been done in bronze, and this is essentially a plating. Now, the only other thing that I can think of is in about 1885, there were models that were sold to raise money for the pedestal to erect the actual Statue of Liberty on Bedloes Island. So it's one of two things, and it could have been done by the original foundry, which was Adolph and Company.
Adolph and Company, but I think the ones that were done to raise the funds for the pedestal were marked as for that purpose.
They were marked for that purpose.
For that purpose, I believe.
That could be.
My instincts are saying a lot of models were made, and he may have made this just to see what the finish would look like.
Interesting.
Well, I think that's where it goes.
Well, let's...
Okay, we differ a little bit, but go ahead.
Okay, if that's what it is, this is probably something in the $5,000 to $7,000 range.
If it is. If it is not, then it's somewhere in the $1,000 to $1,200 range.
Yeah.
So we'll
some more investigation should be done here. Yeah.
Sure, it's interesting.
It's quite
cool.
nice.
Rhonda, what do you think? Do you want to take some bids on that? Do you want to hold on to it?
I would consider bids.
All right, let's just see what happens. Thank you for bringing that by. We appreciate it. That thing is something, boy.
That's interesting.
If you're not careful, you put an eye out with that thing. Here's the number to call in case you want to place a bid, 212-802-0082. And Perlene has joined us. Hi, Perlene. How are you?
Okay.
Nice to meet you. Where are you from?
I'm from Jamaica, but I'm living in Patterson now.
Welcome. Now, what do you have here?
It's a hard deco tray for a dressing table.
Very nice. Now, where'd you get this?
From an auction.
From an
auction.
Well, what do we think?
It is a dresser tray. It's made for a lady's vanity to put comb and accessories on. It is not Art Deco. You said Deco. It is not Art Deco. It's a decorative. The style, the filigree work is very typical anywhere from the 1890s through the 1940s and even to the present day, where they're still making the same design. So I think it's somewhere in the 1940s, primarily because of the velvet backing that's on there.
40s or early 50s.
50s, yeah.
And in more of a Rococo style, I think, than Art Deco.
Yeah, definitely.
Very,
Rococo style.
and as Joan said, very decorative.
But it's a good one. The mirror, one of the ways to test a mirror is touch it. If you can see an airspace between your actual finger and the image, it's a fairly inferior mirror. If it looks like it's actually physically touching, it's a higher quality mirror.
Oh,
so,
how interesting.
Yeah, this is a fairly good quality mirror. It means there's a decent silvering on the back, which also puts in that 40, early 50s range. It's worth around $65, $75.
Agreed?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's an old trick.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know, the camera guys never get on TV. Mike Moore, you want to say hello to anybody over there? Say hello to the family there? There you go. Marlene, what do you think? You want to take bids? You want to hold on to it?
Bids.
Take bids? Let's see what happens. Thank you for bringing that by. I appreciate that.
Okay,
I just learned something about mirrors.
There you go.
Very interesting. Okay, and Sophina is up next. Hi, Sophina. How are you?
Fine.
Come on in here. It's nice to meet you. What do you have here now? What is this?
A 5.
A fife. Where'd you get this?
A gift from a friend.
Now, she told me that if this is worth $1 million, she's going to take us all to lunch.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Okay.
What do we have here?
Actually is a flute. And
now, what's the difference between a fife and a flute?
You don't have this type of mouthpiece on a fife, and you don't have this type of fingering hole here, where you blow across this to make the sound.
Fife is more of a straight tube, even shape all the way across, and you blow across the opening, as opposed to a flute where you actually blow into the mouthpiece.
A fife also has a much shriller sound than a flute. And this appears to be a plastic and sort of an imitation of ivory.
Yeah, I think it's that plasticine that was popular. First came out in the 1930s. What you can tell is fairly cool to the touch. Newer plastics are warmer to the touch. It's a good industrial strength plastic, so we'll hold up.
So this is from around the 30s, is that?
It was first made in the 30s, continually made to the present day.
Okay.
To date this would be a little difficult. My instincts are saying, wait a second here.
It says product of Israel.
Of Israel. Well, that dates it instantly to post-war.
Okay.
So now we know it's after the war.
Yeah, this is actually a 60s piece, I'm really pretty sure.
So what do we think then? How much is it worth?
$10, $15.
Yeah.
Okay. Sophina, what do you think?
So you can't take us to lunch.
Yeah, I guess we're not going to lunch. Do you want to see if anybody wants to buy it, or do you want to keep it?
Buy it.
Buy it. All right, let's see what happens. Nicely done. Thank you very much, Sophina. That was terrific. Well done. All right, and Tora is up next. Hi, Tora.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good.
Where are you from?
I'm from Brooklyn, but I'm moving to Las Vegas 14th of June.
Ah, good luck.
Yes.
What do you have here?
That's why I saw the show.
Ah, great. What do you have?
This doll was my grandmother's, and my mother kept it in a cedar chest for all those years, and then she died. I took over. And, let's see. It's a leather jointed knees, and it was made in Germany.
Interesting.
And it's porcelain face, and it has eyes that move.
Okay. What do you think?
She does have sleep eyes, and she has a leather jointed body, which is in remarkable condition. Very often when you find a leather jointed body, the rivets are rusted, and the leather is not in very condition. This one is in beautiful condition. She has bisque forearms as well as a bisque head, which is marked. Let's see if we can let you see in the back. Germany on the back.
Germany on the back.
And she has an open mouth and sleep eyes. Probably around 1900 she was made, I would think, and natural hair. Well, it could be that way.
Yeah, it's around 1900. Yeah.
Give or take 10 years. She has natural hair as well, which is in very nice condition. What's very nice about this doll is that she has the original clothes.
Yeah.
And that really, that increases the value considerably. Because collectors, serious collectors, are looking for dolls in their original clothing.
Okay.
I really am amazed to see the leather in such good condition.
Yeah,
Like you
it's
say, this has
incredible.
really been cared for, which will drive the price of this right to the top of the market.
Yeah,
Well,
she's in pristine condition.
What's the top of the market then?
I put this around $800–900.
I would say more in the area of $550 to $600, in that range.
All right.
That's a decent spread for it. That's a fairly reasonable spread.
$550 up to $900. Do you want to take some bids? Do you want to hold on to it?
No, I'll take some bids.
Let's see what happens. Thank you very much for bringing that by. I appreciate
you,
that.
too.
You can stay where you are because right now we're going out to Lincoln, Nebraska. Ayo Haynes is going to give us a sneak preview of this super collection.
It's a super collection. John and Claire, the majority of Darlene's super collection of Campbell's Soup Kids feature the artistry of Grace Drayton. Now, Grace was a writer and illustrator of children's books, and her images were so popular that in 1902, Campbell's decided to include those images in their advertising campaigns, even campaigns we see today. Well, when we come back, we'll see more Campbell's Soup Kids here in Lincoln, Nebraska on Personal FX.
You're searching for a new best friend. It's time for you to tune in to The Pet Department, the show that helps you choose, train, and care for your perfect pet. With our patented road test, you'll learn how much dog you can get for your dollar. Get Set for Your Pet tells you what to buy before you bring your new buddy home. And our vet and trainer visits help you keep your pet healthy and you happy. So if you like animals,
I want to keep them.
you won't be able to tear yourself away from The Pet Department. Weekdays at 3/2 Central, right before Home FX.
My shoulder.
Bayer, powerful pain relief, and so much more.
Some thoughts on, should I sleep with it or not?
This is a big question. I mean, how long can you really wear a tampon? Overnight?
All night.
The whole night? A group of leading gynecologists agree that you can wear a tampon overnight for up to 8 hours.
This is good news.
And nothing protects better than a Tampac tampon.
During the day?
Or at night. They're very smart, those gynecologists. Tampacs.
Overnight.
Because it's okay.
Sweet dreams.
Good night.
Tampacs. Women know.
If your plastic diaper can't breathe, there's no need to feel blue. Make a wish for the one that lets fresh air flow through. Welcome Breathable Huggies Supreme. It's the only diaper that breathes all over, not just on the sides, so air flows through to baby's skin. Supreme helps keep baby dry, and healthy skin is dry skin, still with remarkable leakage protection. It breathes all over, no diaper can compare. Breathable Huggies Supreme, the ultimate in care.
You put your heart into all you do, from the way you love to the things you choose. Big or small, you give your all. Moms like you choose Jif. Choose Jif.
Creamy Jif's peanuts are hot roasted to bring out more fresh roasted peanut taste, more than any other leading creamy brand.
Moms like you choose Jif. Choose Jif.
Choosy moms choose Jif.
I love my denture cream. I'll trade you this toothpaste for your denture cream.
Monty Hall! Will this denture wearer give up his denture cream?
I'll even throw in mouthwash and a soap.
No deal. Denture cream's minty and cleans much better than soaks. All you need is denture cream.
Searching for major movies? Turn on FX Major Movie Sunday. This Sunday, a down-and-out attorney struggles to change his ways.
Maybe I can do something right.
When he takes a risk to fight for what he believes in.
I can win it. I can win this case.
Nominated for 5 Academy Awards.
Objection!
Paul Newman.
I believe there is justice in our heart.
James Mason.
You're aware of the penalties for perjury?
The Verdict. Sunday at 7:30 on FX Major Movie Sunday.
Reading. That is today's FX Collector Speak word of the day, and that is a decorative molding with a raised pattern of parallel strips that resemble thin reeds. And that is brought to you by Advil. That is the opposite of fluting, which features rounded grooves. Anybody follow that? We got that? All right, we got that.
Okay, I was just reading off of the
there you go.
there, right, very good. Let's tell you about the items that are for sale right now. Hopefully I haven't confused you. We start with the powder horn. This is actually a decorative version of what was a usable powder horn where hunters kept powder in the horn. This is under 50 years old, but it does have some damage on it, and it's missing the cap at the very end. The appraised value is $50 to $75. And then we have the Wayne Gretzky doll. It's the French version, though, when Gretzky played for the Edmonton Oilers. It is missing its hockey stick. We don't know where the hockey stick is. The box does have some damage. It's been appraised at $50 to $100. And we have a lovely candle holder. It's made of brass and enamel, and it comes with an appraised value of $100 to $150. It's from the turn of the century, and it is very well made. Now, this was interesting, the Statue of Liberty model. I was listening to that saying, wow. Now, more research is needed on it to see if this was actually used as a model for the statue. So if you're saying, if it was the model, it's going to be worth $5,000 to $7,000. If not, in the $1,000 to $1,500 range, the story was worth a lot as well.
We also have the decorative vanity tray, and this was appraised anywhere from $65 to $75. It's from the 1940s, good quality, and it comes with John Bruno's little fingerprint there. We have the plastic flute also. It's from the 1960s, and this was appraised at $10 to $15. And last but not least, we have the German doll. And it's from the 1900s. It's got the original clothes. It's got a leather jointed body. It's in beautiful condition. It may be Eubach Koppelsdorf doll.
Maybe.
It might be.
Not marked.
It's not marked. That's why we're saying maybe. But at this rate, we're saying it's about $550 to $900. If it is that Koppelsdorf, it's worth a lot more.
Still in the same price range. Maybe another 100 or 2 on top.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. But we're at the top of where it belongs right now.
Good to know.
So, if you would like to bid on any or all of these items, here's what you do. You write down this number, you call 212-802-0082. How can you not look at these Campbell Soup kits and not go, ah, it's so sweet?
There it is right there. That's the response. Let's go out to Lincoln, Nebraska. I'll show us some more.
Claire, it's
Yeah.
Darlene, where did Grace get her images of these little children from?
She just got it out of her mind. She
Really?
just drew and drew and drew from the time she was a very small child.
Was she a popular artist back then? Did people know Grace Drayton?
Absolutely.
They did.
Absolutely.
So are these her oldest works here?
These are some of her very early works, probably before she did the Campbell Soup postcards. But you can see the faces always look the same.
Right.
So familiar, so cute, so cuddly.
The round eyes.
Right. Healthy.
Chubby face. Now, what about these cards? Are these just as old?
These were from 1910. You could get them at no charge from the Campbell Soup Company. This is a set of 4. That's how they came, 1 through 4. They're horizontal cards. They also have a set of vertical.
Were they free?
They were absolutely free, but they became so popular that the company had to start charging postage, which was 15 cents to get the 4.
How much are they worth now?
Well over 150 apiece.
So from free to 150, not bad. That's a complete set.
That's a complete set.
What's your oldest piece in the collection?
Probably the oldest piece are the cake top beeswax candles that were on top of a lady's wedding cake some 85 years ago.
Now, why made out of beeswax?
I have no idea.
That's so interesting.
If there's anybody out there that would know.
Right,
but
exactly.
Now,
yes.
Our appraisers are saying because they were clean burning.
Oh,
okay.
that's right.
That's interesting. Well,
There you
see,
go.
there you found
I
out.
thought maybe because they didn't want them to be edible.
Now, these images were actually used on the Helps for the Hostess book.
Absolutely.
Now what is a weird term, helps for the host?
Isn't that funny?
Yeah. Was that a mistake?
No, I don't believe so.
Yeah.
Just wanted to help the hostess out.
But that was one of the first recipe books that they put out. Did you ever try any of those recipes?
All the time.
All the time. Are they yummy?
Mmm, good.
Good one, good one. Now we have different items that are made of cast iron. Tell us about the doorstops and the banks.
Well, basically, because she did children, their faces appeared on everything from bookends to doorstops to banks.
Right.
And this is a little boy, Bobby Blake, doorstop. This is boy and girl and dog.
How old are these?
Around 1910. 1910. And then this is the famous Campbell's Kid Bank that is lead, and it's from 1910.
Are these very valuable?
Very valuable and hard to find, but they are in reproduction now, so you have to be very careful.
Okay, that you don't
when
get
you
the
purchase them.
reproduction. Now, a lot of these items are for both children and for adults, right? Now,
Right.
this one here is obviously a child's toy, the pull toy. Tell me about this.
This is a Fisher-Price pull toy that you could purchase in 1954 from a 5 and dime store for $1.25.
And worth how much now?
And probably over $450.
That's great.
Now, you would tell that it's original by the picture here.
The paper that is attached and in good shape. How can it be in good shape when you played with it and left it outside in the rain? So if you can find one that doesn't have a lot of wear, probably $350
Now,
higher.
Okay. A lot of these items are cross collectibles. Fisher-Price collectors would love that toy, huh?
Right.
Now, I understand you played with an item similar to this, the Chuck Wagon set.
Outdoor mud pies. This is what we used to play with when we were outdoors. And a lot of times you'll find aluminum dishes and cups, but you never knew what they went to. So this is the complete cardboard box that it came in with a record. The little napkins have not been used.
The only thing that looks like it's been used is this one can
Probably
here.
some moisture from being in an attic for a very long time.
Well, this is gorgeous and very valuable and in great shape. And we want to thank you so much for showing us your collection.
Well, thanks for coming.
You're welcome.
It's really an amazing collection. Darlene, do you have a favorite Campbell's soup, a favorite type?
It's so hard to pick a favorite because they're just so cute, but probably the beeswax candles.
Oh, I mean,
soup.
Yeah,
Oh,
the actual flavor, yeah.
Candle soup, no. Tomato soup.
Thank you both very much. Thanks, Ayo.
You're welcome.
That makes you smile, doesn't it?
Yes, I always like cream of chicken myself.
Really?
But yeah, when I was a
With
kid.
chicken with rice.
But I think John Bruno wanted the Chuck Wagon set.
That's so much fun. That's really good.
Yeah, that's a good collection.
Yeah.
All right, stay with us, folks. When Personal FX returns, we're going to be talking about the collectability of the Kewpie doll. They can be worth as much as $6,000. We'll tell you why.
Feeling lucky? Get to Vegas. Searching for action? Get to Vegas for the coolest PI.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Miss Tanner, private investigator.
If you're looking for the hottest action,
You just hit the jackpot, sport.
you better get to Vegas.
Don't make me come looking for you.
Vegas, weekdays at 10 a.m., 9 Central. One place, FX.
I just love Las Vegas.
34 years ago, I was born under the sign of the lion and the curse of the tiger.
Courageous adults wrestle with their constant obsession with Kellogg's Frosted Flakes.
I've been described as flake obsessive with a strong frosting fixation.
Those sweet flakes in a bowl of milk. Is it any wonder it's the cat's meow?
They put me in charge of the company breakfast this year.
There's no denying it. Frosted Flakes have the taste adults have grown to love. They're great.
I'm a big kid, look what I can do. I get dressed like a big kid too.
Training can be easier than you think with Pull-Ups training pants. They make kids want to train, as no diaper can. There's just as much protection as a diaper, but the big kid designs look like real underwear. Your child feels like a big kid in Pull-Ups, and that's the best motivation there is.
Mommy, wow, I'm a big kid now.
This year, you will find something you never thought possible. It's big. Really big. So ask your doctor about prescription Zyrtec. Or call toll-free to see how this prescription medicine may help you.
Jay, at 32, do you think you're maybe getting a little old for the game, physically?
Old? Like I said before, age is strictly a mental thing.
Not old. Look, have a good season, okay?
Thanks.
Oh my God, look. I barely touched you. Oh my God, turn off the cameras. Turn off the cameras. This isn't funny. Turn off the camera.
Can I get a little help over here?
Tonight, the New York Yankees take on Boston, or Toronto meets Seattle, only on FX.
Personal FX will be visiting Cape Cod, Massachusetts next week. A reminder, June 11th is our big appraise-a-thon. Then we're heading to Jackson, Wyoming, June 16th through the 20th. After that, it's off to the Quad Cities for June 23rd through the June 27th. So if you live in Davenport and Bettendorf, Iowa, or Moline and Rock Island, Illinois, a reminder that if you've got a lot of any one item and you're a super collector, or you just have one item you want to have appraised, give us a call at 1-800-FX-FX-FX1. And Lisa and Marcia are joining us in the rec room. And Lisa used to live in Texas, and now you live in Brooklyn.
Yes.
Good to have you with us. And what did you bring to be appraised?
I brought this vanity set.
Oh, that's the one that you...
Yeah, I wanted to get, my fiance went back at Christmas time and got it for me.
What a great gift, and it was still there.
Love it. I know, that's why I couldn't believe it. So beautiful.
This is really beautiful. I've only seen a few with the original carrying case, the gift case. To find the set fully intact is really wonderful. It's a little damaged, unfortunately. Somewhere, I'm losing my voice here. There's some wear on the mirror trim, and there is some wear here on the photograph of Joel McCrae.
Joel McCrae, that's right.
So when was
Very
it
young.
created?
Probably late 30s, early 40s. There is one, I think there is one piece missing. There is a holder for something.
The nail buffer.
Oh, the buffer.
The nail
That's
buffer would be
what
there.
it
You
is.
got the
You're right.
shoehorn, you've got the nail file, the hair receiver, the brush, the mirror.
And the packaging, which is so
nice.
nice.
The packaging is wonderful.
Yeah.
This is really a cool piece. I wish it were mint, but I'm happy the way it is. It's worth somewhere in this condition around $250 to $300.
I'd be a little bit more conservative because of some of the damage, but just a little bit. It maybe $2 1/4, $200, $2 1/4. I mean, very,
Great gift from your fiancé. So you have a big decision to make. Would you like to keep it or put it up for sale?
I'll put it up for sale.
Okay, now that you know what a door is. Great, thank you so much. And our number to call is 212-802-0082. And Marcia, what did you bring to be appraised?
I bring 2 paintings by Matisse.
2 paintings. Where'd you get them?
I got them at an antique sale in East Orange.
Actually, these are prints of famous paintings. This one is Georges Seurat, and I think the title of the painting is "Afternoon on the Grand Isle," or Isle of Jot, I think is what it is. It's done in
Isle of Jot, yes.
Yeah. This is a print, because had it been an original, it would be worth a lot of money.
It certainly would be.
It's the same graphic that was used for the play Sunday in the Park, and a lot of people call this now Sunday in the Park, but it's not. With George.
Right.
And the other?
And this is one of the interior scenes that Matisse did in sort of a transitional style from the impressionistic to the fauve style, which he painted in his later or midlife, actually, around 1909.
And the way to know a print from a painting is?
This is really quite clear. This is a photolithograph, and all you really have to do is look at this. It has absolutely no texture. If you look at it very closely, there are lots of tiny.
There's a dot pattern. Just put a magnifying glass or a loupe to see
No
that
brush
dot
strokes.
pattern. No brush strokes.
So what would you
whatsoever.
say in terms of appraised value?
They fall to the $25 to $35 range each.
I'm going to be much more conservative and say about half of that. It's a decorative value.
Okay, in terms of decorative value, would you like to keep it, put it up for sale?
I'd like to put it up for sale.
We'll be happy to do that for you. Thank you. And let's go on out back to Nebraska, because Lydia has an item for us to appraise. Hi, Lydia. Welcome to the program.
Hi.
What would you like us to take a look at for you?
Yes, I have a tin all-in-one frame grape nuts advertisement, and I've had it a long time, and we got it in Fremont, and I don't know too much about it.
Well, let's help you out and let you know more about it.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay. I was going to say, is this a self-frame, or is this been placed in a frame.
No, it's a 10 all in one.
All in one.
Okay. Could we just see the reverse of the advertising, please?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What are you looking for?
Okay. We just, all right. Thank you. Just turn it right around again. Thank you very much. It appears that this is an original of an advertising that was done for Grape Nuts around the turn of the century. This is one of their most sought-after advertising pieces. Now, the problem is that this piece has been reproduced. I don't think this is a reproduction. I think this is an original, and worth quite a bit.
Yeah, these things, the reason we think it's an original is we can see the hammer marks on the back, the press marks. In mint condition, this seems to be, this gets up into the 1,000 range. Yeah, 1,000 to 1,100.
In actually pristine condition, it can sell for as much as 1,500. I would say
in this condition, what would you say?
In this condition, I would say probably 900 to 1,000.
Yeah, 900 to 1,000, exactly.
Liddy, and then $900 to $1,000, would you be interested in putting it up for sale?
Yes, I'd take bids.
Okay. We'll let you know at the end of the program. Thank you so much.
Interesting.
Okay.
Okay. And you can't help but smile when you look at Kewpie Dolls, John.
All right, well, joining us is Stuart Holbrook, president of Theriault's Doll Auction House. And once again, Stuart, thanks for being here today.
Great to be here.
Now, when we talk about Kewpie Dolls, people really like them. They like to collect them for a couple of very important reasons. One is that, I guess, they're cute, and the other is there's a lot of different models.
There's hundreds and hundreds of models that are out there, from more of the affordable $100 price range up to thousands. So they appeal to both the beginning collector who can't afford thousands of dollars and the sophisticated collector that wants rare things to keep it interesting.
Now this one here is the standard model?
It's what we call the standard model Kewpie, and the features you'll see are the solid legs that are not jointed, and it has the blue wings right there, and the eyes, which can come glancing either direction, either left or right, and the jointed arms as well.
And what about the heart?
The heart label you'll see on many of the Kewpies. That will really authenticate it, as well as a signature. If you look on the bottom of the feet on many of the Kewpies, you'll find signatures like on the Scoodles right here. You can see signed O'Neill, Rose O'Neill, the creator.
And that will authenticate it?
Authenticate it right off the bat for you.
Okay, now this is a standard model. How much is this worth today, John?
That particular one is actually a larger example of the standard model Kewpie. Usually they only came in a 2 or 3 inch size. And they might be worth in the 100. That, because it's a little larger, about 600 to 700.
Relatively common. Here's something that is more uncommon.
Exactly. Now you might look at this and you'll say, well, that looks just like the standard model.
Sure.
But there is a variation. Glass eyes versus painted eyes, which makes it very, very rare. And it was made by the Kessner firm with a composition body. It's worth about $6,000.
This is the one that's worth about $6,000.
Big difference in price.
Now, also when it comes to collecting, I guess something that people should be aware of is when it comes to being rare is if it's smaller and it's an action figure.
Absolutely. This is deceiving. They're small. They don't look like very much, but they're some of the most valuable Kewpies out there, and they are called action figures, as you said. An example, anything with Doodle Dog. Doodle Dog was Kewpie's friends, and the illustrations that Rose O'Neill did are very valuable. This one on the log, about $2,000 to $3,000 for this particular one.
So if you can find the action figures,
you've got a decent one. You've got a definitely decent Kewpie.
Interesting story behind this one here, and Rose going to Germany.
Exactly. Rose O'Neill was an absolute perfectionist and a little bit eccentric, so she actually flew all the way to Germany to make a trip to speak with the workers and the painters and tell them, the small ones I want you to paint them special, because these are for the poorer children who can't afford the larger ones. So really neat woman, too.
How often do you find the box?
Very, very seldom. And if you do find the box, it will, in most cases, double the value of the Kewpie.
Now, there is a doll auction coming up soon, yes?
Yeah, these are going to be spread out. There's hundreds of Kewpies that'll be spread between 2 auctions in June and July, both in Los Angeles.
Okay, so if people want information on that auction, they can call the show and we'll put them in touch with you.
Yep.
Stuart, good to see you,
Good
sir.
to see
Thanks
you.
so much for stopping by.
Great to be here again.
Like a member of the FX family.
Thanks.
All right, let's get a preview of the very next item to be appraised on today's show. Out in Nebraska, belongs to Dee. Hi, Dee. What do you have?
Hi, John. Hi, Claire.
Hi there. What do you have?
I've got a 4-piece wash set that I'll be getting appraised next on Personal FX.
FX presents Tom Skerritt.
Your real name is Walter?
I was a man, now I'm a woman.
Emmy winners Ray Walston, Fibish Finkel, and Kathy Baker.
I have a sexual appetite. Is that all right with you?
Excuse me? In the unforgettable series about an ordinary place called Rome, Wisconsin, and the extraordinary things that happen there.
We're dealing with a serial bather.
Picket fences.
I love this town.
TV's most celebrated hit comes to FX, today at 1 noon Central.
If you ever take your Pontiac Sunfire driving through some famous expressionist painting, it'll fit right in. Because it looks like a work of art, right? And it drives like a real scream. Pontiac Sunfire, driving excitement for around $13.5.
And hey, check out Hard Rock Live, presented by Pontiac Sunfire, TV's only weekly live music series, only on VH1.
I was getting married. I was fat.
I was not walking down the aisle like that.
I lost 39 pounds on the Slim Fast. It was a dream come true.
I had a shake in the morning and a shake for lunch.
I was hooked. I loved it, and it gives me energy.
Now with 23 vitamins and minerals, protein, calcium, fiber, all the balanced nutrition like a healthy meal.
I feel like I've done something good for my body, and it makes you look like this.
Slim Fast, balanced nutrition for a healthy life.
I feel fabulous.
You want your family's bath tissue to be comfortable. So here are some words of comfort. Soft. In actual touch tests, people say Kleenex Cottonelle Ultra Soft is the softest of all. Thick. It has 24% more cottony soft fiber than the leading brand. And Kleenex, a word you've been comfortable with all your life. Kleenex Cottonelle Ultra Soft has these words of comfort for your family. Soft, thick, Kleenex. Kleenex Cottonelle Ultra Soft.
Searching for Fox suspense? Fox comedy? Fox action? Searching for the power of Fox shows? You'll find it on FX. Fox Gone Cable.
Don't move! Johnny Depp, Holly Robinson, cops undercover in the hostile world called high school. The criminals are getting younger every day. They're the only cops keeping up with them.
Good work, man.
Johnny Depp, Holly Robinson, in 21 Jump Street, every Tuesday through Saturday at 7. One place, FX.
Welcome back to Personal FX, the Collectibles Show. I especially like Doodle Dog.
Do you? You like Doodle Dog?
Yes.
Yeah, if you can find him, get him.
I just like saying the word Doodle Dog. Let's tell you about all the items that are up for sale that are getting bids right now. It's a whole bunch of them. The powder horn that we saw has an appraised value of $50 to $75. This is actually a decorative version of an actual powder horn, but it does have some damage. It is missing the cap on the end, and it's under 50 years old. And then we have the Wayne Gretzky doll that comes with a price tag of about $50 to $100. This is the French version of Wayne Gretzky doll. It is missing its hockey stick. The box does have some damage though. And then we have the candle holder that comes in appraised value of $100 to $150. It is brass and enamel, dates back to the turn of the century. And the Statue of Liberty model, what we're trying to figure out, we need a little bit more research, is to know if this was actually used as a model for the Statue of Liberty. If it was, it could be worth $5,000 to $7,000. If not, $1,000 to $1,500. So some research is needed on that one.
We have the decorative vanity tray, and this is from the 1940s. Good quality, and this was appraised at $65 to $75. We also have the plastic flute. Now, this is from the 1960s. We're getting a lot of calls that this might be a recorder.
Well, a recorder is a flute. Not all flutes are recorders, and I think the difference is merely one extra sound hole. So if it's a recorder, which it very well may be, it's still a flute.
Okay, and we're looking at about $10 to $15 on that. We also have the German doll, and this is from the 1900s. It's got the original clothes. Leather jointed body is in beautiful condition. This was appraised at $550 to $900. Maybe tack on another $100 if we can authenticate that it might be a U-back Koppelsdorf. But right now it's unmarked, so we're not for sure on that. We also have the Beauty Crest vanity set. This is from the late 1930s. Missing a buffer, but in good condition, appraised at $200 to $300.
I like the case on that as well. And then we saw the grape nut sign that is from the turn of the century, and it appears to be original. It is sought after, and $900 to $1,000 is the appraised value on that. Lots of items out for sale getting bids. So you want to join the bidding process, it's not too late. Call us at 212-802-0082.
And waiting oh so patiently out in Lincoln, Nebraska, Dee has joined us. Hi, Dee. How you doing?
I'm just fine.
Great. Tell us more about what you brought.
I have a 4-piece wash set that was gotten at a farm auction from a 70-year-old gentleman who said that his mother received it for a wedding present, and I've had it approximately 15 years.
That is great. That is great. Let's see what the appraisers think here, Dee.
Dee, are all the pieces marked, or are any of them marked?
The 2 small ones have France on the bottom, and the pitcher and bowl have this logo, and I think it says Oliver China Company.
Okay. Oliver China Company was a company that was manufacturing china in Sebring, Ohio, I think 1899 to 1908. It was a very short period of time, right around the turn of the century. And the other two, it's interesting, they look very, very similar. But I don't think they match exactly.
So those other two, the 2 smaller ones?
Yes, the shaving mug and the cup, or perhaps toothbrush holder.
It's a holder,
A holder. Are very similar, but I don't think they match exactly. So that does affect the value.
Dee, were you pointing something out on that? Was there something we needed to know?
Well, I thought they matched because of the scalloped edges.
Yeah.
The same
I really think it's...
flaking.
I think it's kismet, though. I think it's
really?
I really think it's kismet to have something that's made in Ohio. And you're right, it was Sebring, Ohio, and one made in France as an import piece. I think it's just pure serendipity that it happens to be this close. This does happen. There are styles of finish and styles of design that are inherent and somewhat universal over time, and I think this is just one of them.
It does affect the value somewhat, but they're so close that it's not going to affect it greatly. I think I'd probably place a value somewhere in the neighborhood of $300 for the 4 pieces.
I'd be a tad more conservative because I see an awful lot of these in the $200 range, but it's a good spread.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dee, do you want to take some bids on this, or do you want to hold on to it?
I'll take some bids on it.
Let's see what happens. Thank you for bringing it by. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
I like the kismet quality. That's great. Turning to our mailbag, we have a letter from Ken, who's written us from Rhode Island. Enclosed are photographs of a plastic toy horses, which I'm interested in learning more about and getting appraised. The horses are detailed and in good condition. The largest one stands 9 inches tall and is 11 inches long. The smallest horse measures 6.5 inches and is 7 inches long. The horses are marked Breyer Molding Company. I believe they're from the 60s.
They're a hard plastic, and they may have been made in the 60s, but I remember them from the early 70s. And they were very popular then, and they were made to be collectible, and they were actually made to teach children various breeds of horses, and they're quite accurate in the depiction of each breed.
Now, on the flip side of that, these were very popular during the 1950s with all the TV westerns. An awful lot of toy horses were made and continue to be made into the 60s, and I think it's more of that. It could well be, because I'm seeing very triggerish-like horses here.
How does that affect the appraised value?
Not a lot. Either way, it's still just an interesting hard plastic toy, and worth somewhere around $20 each.
Yes,
yeah.
$20 each?
Yeah.
Ken, thank you so much for your letter.
And now on the phone from Eugene, Oregon, Josie has joined us. Hi, Josie. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Great. Tell us what you'd like to have appraised today.
Well, we have 2 cookie jars that my husband's mother gave us, and they're 11 inches high, 7.5 inches wide. On the bottom, they say they're styled by Lorraine Elam. There's no chips, and some paint has worn off.
Okay, and I'll also tell the appraisers that the 2 cookie jars have been in the family since the late 40s. What do you think?
Yeah, they're probably made by the American Bisque Company, and it's a very popular design. There are a lot of these particular figures out there, though. Even though they are very popular. The lady pig tends to go for just a little bit more in value, or it is a little bit more valuable than the male pig.
Well, they would be, of course.
She's a hat, you know, she's a little bit more decorative than the little guy with his little overall. And that's about it.
Andy Warhol had these in every variation and in every color combination. He had something like 100 of just these, the pigs themselves. So yeah, they're somewhere in the $300 range.
For the 2 of them.
For the 2 of them, yeah.
Yeah, they each tend to range from $65 to $100 range, depending on the condition. So I'm going to say around $250 for the pair.
All righty. Well, Josie, do you want to take bids on these, or do you want to hold on to them?
Yes, I would like to take bids, and I love your show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Well,
thank you.
We'll let you know about those bids.
Those cookie jars made me smile.
Yeah.
And the cookies inside make me smile as well, John. When we come back, it is that time. Big bids. Stay with us.
I've lost 45 pounds on Jenny Craig. And you are? I'm you. Oh, you can't be me. I could never wear a dress like that. Oh, trust me, you can and you will. I've been trying to lose weight forever. How did I? Jenny Craig? Jenny Craig? Jenny Craig. Oh, I just had deja vu.
Call Jenny Craig right now to find out about our limited time special offer. Start losing weight today. Call 1-800-45-JENNY. That's 1-800-45-JENNY.
I'm usually pretty calm. But I hate mildew stains. I want them completely eliminated. I want to kick their dirty little molecules. And X14 is better than regular strength Tilex. You can't beat the power of X14. That feels better.
Perfect day for a sport ute. I'd put it in four-wheel drive high. Get those extra gear rotations going, huh? But you could hit an incline. So you might want to do four-wheel low. Get that torque working for you? Oh, yeah. Of course, there's ice. High, low, two-wheel, four-wheel. What do you think?
Think? You're in the Bravada. It's got Smart Track, automatically adjusting to changing road conditions. No buttons, no levers, no thinking required.
So where's that lever anyway?
Bravada. It knows the road.
Did you know there's only one? And it's mine.
Aren't you the lucky one?
Yes, there's only one.
Ooh, and it's all yours.
There's only one Kellogg's Rice Krispies treat square. Get lots.
You want your family's bath tissue to be comfortable. So here are some words of comfort. Soft. In actual touch tests, people say Kleenex Cottonelle Ultra Soft is the softest of all. Thick. It has 24% more cottony soft fiber than the leading brand. And Kleenex, a word you've been comfortable with all your life. Kleenex Cottonelle Ultra Soft has these words of comfort for your family. Soft, thick, Kleenex. Kleenex Cottonelle Ultra Soft.
Rosetto. Extraordinary pasta for ordinary nights.
All right, welcome back to Personal FX, the Collectibles Show. Before we get started with the big bids, let's thank Stuart Holbrook, president of Theriault's Doll Auction House, for stopping by. Thank you, Stuart.
Hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate it, John.
Okay. Let's get started with these things. In order to do that, we have to go out to Lincoln, Nebraska, where Rhonda brought the Statue of Liberty. Rhonda, Maureen from Long Beach, California wants it for $2,750.
I'll probably just hold on to it.
Okay, can do. Darlene with the powder horn. Tony from Sequoia, New York, called in with an offer of $81.
I think I'll think about it.
Okay, you can think about it. Denise with the Wayne Gretzky doll. Wayne from Wausau, Michigan, called in with an offer of $100.
No, I'm going to hold on to it.
All righty. And Leanne with the candle holder. James from Buffalo, New York, called in with an offer of $250.
Sold. Nice big sold. Let's go back out to Nebraska. And Lydia, let you know for your grape nut sign, we have an offer from Betty from Antigua, California for $975.
Well, I might consider that.
Okay,
right,
considering. Pearline for your tray, Sharon from St. Paul, Minnesota, is offering $100. Sold. Good. Sofina for the plastic flute. Beverly from Oswego, New York, has an offer for $20.
Sold.
And Tara for the German doll. Annie from Linwood, Washington, is offering $975.
Okay, sold.
Lisa for your vanity set. Ed from Billings, Montana, would like it for $303.
I'll have to think about it.
All right, let's go say goodbye to Ayo Haynes and find out what's up for tomorrow. Ayo?
Tomorrow, we're still in Lincoln looking at American pop culture memorabilia. I want to say thank you to Darlene for showing us her Campbell soup kits. And Darlene and I have just one thing to say. Good.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye. And that's how I feel about our appraisers. Pat Dudley, John Bruno, for doing your good appraisals. Thanks to all of you for being with us in the apartment. And to all of you at home, make the most of your day. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
So long, everybody.